Hey guys, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, this is Hunter Call of the Wild, and this is going to be a little thing where I just talk about what I've been doing for a bit. Um, it's not going to be 10 hours like the last one, I promise. So, uh, and also I'm not going to shoot anything because, well, I don't want to. I'm perfectly happy just roaming around. So, last time we played this, we had a little bit of a pacifist thing, and we were roaming around the wilds of Siberia. And yeah, it took me 10 hours because I wanted to make a point. Today we're in Hirschfelden, which no doubt I am mispronouncing. Specifically, we're in the Rinderland area, and again, I'm going to be mispronouncing things. Rinderland or Tischnau? Tischnau, wonderful. So we're right down here. We might try and get up there. Like, you know, I don't know how long that's going to take without fast travel. We're not going to make a big thing of it. We're just going to walk and talk, but I'd just roughly sort of think, can I put down a marker? I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, place waypoint up there, but is that going to just... Yeah, that's going to just put up a big tag. Let's get rid of that. That's not wanted. Remove. Wonderful. So we're just going to sort of... Come on, focus. I hope I got the video settings right for this because I spent like an hour fiddling around with them trying to get them to work out. So we're just going to come down here, join the main road and go for a bit of a walk. We might go visit the farmland, that's always fun, or we could head up towards the mountain. You know, whatever. The purple blotches are where I've... Look, I've played this game properly before, so I have killed stuff on this map. That's what those purple blotches are for. I am level 38 for a reason. Okay, so let's just head on. But we're not going to use any of my wide variety of weaponry on this. Just my range-finding binoculars, which cap out at 1 kilometer. Yeah, real measurements, bitches. What is it, first minute you can't swear on YouTube now? Or shouldn't swear? Whatever. Anyway, Hirschfelden is a lovely little reserve in, I think it was Austria, but Central Europe. It's one of the two main maps that came with this game to begin with, the other one being an American one, I think a Midwest American one, which is kind of nice, but I mean, we get these lovely little shots of the mountains. Come on, focus in on. Oh yeah, you can see the wonderful. He really did not care too much about up close on the background. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while. It has been a long time since I've played this game. I had to scroll all the way down my Steam list to even find it. I was considering doing another one entirely. Is that snow on those trees over there? Definitely something yelling at me from over there. Yeah. Yeah, to scroll all the way down. I was planning on doing this free... Oh god, I do not know how to pronounce this word. It's Icelandic. Mitildesa? It's a free walking game, basically, set in that place in Iceland. Looks beautiful. Played it for like 5 minutes before I got bored of it, but you know, if I have something to talk about while doing it, that would be absolutely fine. Anyway, more to the point, I'm not going to explain any of the mechanics of this game, because I don't want to, and I already did that in the 10-hour one. So if you're really interested, go find that. It's on this channel. You'll be fine. It's on the Siberia map, by the way, not this one, so it's quite picturesque. I mean, this is lovely too. I mean, look at the sun coming through that. If you can see it, I think my quality is going to be a lot better than what it gets uploaded at because, well, previously mentioned hour of fiddling with OBS's settings. Sometimes that shit just baffles me. Anyway, that's not a good sign considering what I'm about to tell you guys. It's been about not counting the video that I'm uploading along with this one, the Mechanicus one, it's been about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years since I uploaded anything. I think the last thing I uploaded was like episode 291 or something of, it's behind the wall. It heard me anyway. Yeah, like, I don't have the exact episode number, even though I looked at it today, of, one of the Long Live the King, Crusader Kings episodes. I'm so disappointed by what happened with that playthrough, actually. I might as well explain it. It leads into everything, so I'm sure I explained it in the comments of that video. Something over there? Honestly, we're making so much noise wandering around this place that I would be surprised if we ever saw an animal. Yeah, so the Crusader King stuff, it was fun. It was going really well. I think that's a bird I can hear. Sounds like a bird anyway. Birds aren't interactable, even when you use the weaponry. Anyway. Crusader Kings. Yeah, so the issue with that was while I was playing the game, like recording it, Paradox released an update. It was a major update too, like it was when they release DLC, they also release a patch with it, which upgrades the base game, usually to include the patched stuff, so that you interact with it if you're just playing, though you can't actually use it on your side. Like, for example, this is not what happened, by the way, but for example, when I think Sword of Islam got released, the one which let you play as a Muslim character. Somewhere over here. Yeah, when it let you play as a Muslim character, Sunni or Shia, which great DLC, by the way. Even if the Decadence mechanic was broken, and I haven't looked into it yet to see if it's unbroken. I'm getting sidetracked. But say you didn't get that DLC. The changes to Muslim characters still existed in your game. The DLC patch, which is what happened without you even buying the DLC in the first place, that would have changed whatever the patch changed. You know, enabled the jihads, hello NSA while we're here, enabled the decadence mechanics, all that sort of stuff. A lookout, really? Oh yeah, we might as well head up there and have a little look. So next left, I think it's up there somewhere. Yeah, so it would have changed all of that for your game, but you would not have been able to use it personally. The AI would use it, absolutely, but you wouldn't use it because you hadn't bought access to it. And of course, the second you buy access to it, it's there. Oh yeah, all the signs are in like German or Austrian, or I'm not a linguist, which is going to come back in a few minutes. Anyway, so the patch. I don't know what DLC it was. I honestly can't remember. It was a long time ago, guys. But that DLC, the patch with it, added a whole bunch of new counties. And duchies, apparently. And like, it added a whole bunch of stuff. And something to do with the fact that I owned the lands around those counties, or I owned the previous county which had been split into two or something like that. And not even owned personally. Because remember, in Crusader Kings, you can't own a lot of stuff personally. I'm pretty sure you can't play North Korea mode anymore. But, is that lookout up there? No, we're still headed sort of around this hill. Yeah, so while I didn't own it, I had, dominion over that land. And so it automatically assigned those new counties to me directly. Normally, I don't think that would have been a problem. Like if I was just playing a normal game. But it was a problem because we were playing as an immortal demigod. And the problem there being the inheritance. I remember distinctly that whenever I won new territory, whenever I acquired it through war or whatever, the game would lag. Sometimes for quite a while. Is that anything? No, it's just a rock, isn't it? Yep. I will jump at rocks in this game because they are very, there. We are moving downwind, so when you can tell that by the little green triangle on my compass down there in the lower right, that's wind direction. I missed this entirely, or are we just... Oh no, we're getting there. Don't look directly at the sun, kids. Yeah, so... You know how I am, guys. I'm going to get sidetracked by stuff, but I will eventually circle back to the main point. What I'm saying is that whenever I would be assigned lands, it would try and work out the inheritance for those, because we were still running on Gavelkind, which is your lands get split up everywhere among your like sons. Though I had changed the succession to make it sons and daughters, which, in retrospect, the wrong move to make. Because you can only change succession once during your lifetime, and because I only had one lifetime, I could only change one thing. And I went for the nice egalitarian option of enabling women to inherit on the same level as men. A mistake on my part, because I should have changed it from Gavelkind to primogeniture, which would have raised some issues about sons being unlanded, which Gavelkind doesn't have. Ah, here we are. Look out. But it's also a is it a hide up there? Hunting structure, yeah, it's a hide. Let's just appreciate this for a little bit. Here's our lookout point. Fire risk, who knows? There's a map. But check that out. Even if it's like, I don't know, low res for you guys, I don't know exactly how this is going to upload. I hope it looks good. I tried for a while to get it to look good. So let's hope. We're just going to cross country it down to the village. Can I? Yep, beautiful. Yeah, I really hope it does look good because I want it to look good. It was the whole point of picking a walking game, so that I wouldn't get distracted by gameplay like I did in the Mechanicus game, that video. Because I get distracted plenty easy already. I don't have a diagnosed condition, and I don't actually think I have a condition around attention. I'm pretty good when it comes to it. It's just video games, man. Video games. Right, so I know I should have changed the, I could have console cheated it, and maybe that would work. But the problem is that as soon as you zone in, it tries to change them all for you. And by them all, I mean all of the new counties that got added. So it tries to, it gives them all to me, that's fine. The problem, is that the main road down there? Yeah, we'll head towards that. The problem is that when it does that, it then needs to sort out the inheritance. I know I've said that 5 times already. The inheritance is so complicated that Crusader Kings lags for every county. Can I make this fall without hurting myself? Yep, apparently. Yeah, it lags for every county. And it lagged so much that it locked. It just hard locked. And I know in the episode that I tried recording directly after the last one that got uploaded, the last Crusader Kings one that got uploaded, we'll just continue on straight. I let that run for 20 hours on that lock screen in the vain hope that it would sort itself out and then I could keep on recording. And it just didn't. And look, if something's locked up, and not locked up as in it's got like a spinny wheel and that sort of stuff, just locked up as in it's in its own internal thinking mode with, I think it's an hourglass in CK. And if something's doing that for 20 hours, it's done. Like, you're not getting back from there. It is, as they say, stopped. Just saw that. So, there's no point. And maybe I could have rolled back patches or something and just kept on playing it like that. Now the question is, farmland? We might come down here, get a little look at the farmland, and then kind of head up here. That seems kind of nice. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll head on down to whatever this is. It should have a damn name. Alright, let's head on down this way. So yeah, it's just done. Like, what more can you do? And that was around the time when I'd just gotten into a relationship with a girl from California, who I'm not going to name because I respect her privacy and all that sort of thing, and we're no longer together for various reasons. I'm not going to go into too many of those because I don't want to. Do I have a shadow? No. Yeah, but I'd just gone into that relationship, and that was pretty serious, and it took a lot of time and effort. And one thing I will tell you guys is the time and effort was a major reason why it didn't work out. But, you know, for the time that it lasted, it was pretty good. It had its ups, it had its downs. The ups were great, the downs were terrible. What more can you say? Because, look, no matter what, in general, no matter what you say about your ex, they might be out there saying worse shit about you. So I'm not going to tempt fate or karma or anything like that. And in addition to that, I mean, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I was at university studying engineering back in the CK game, like in that playthrough. And, well, it was a 4-year degree. And when I say was, you kind of know where things have gone here, huh? It was a 4-year degree. What the fuck was that? Normally once you hear an animal, particularly that sort of a noise, it's already run away. Because that's a warning noise. And if I hit E on it, it would say warning cry and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, yeah, the engineering degree I did was a 4-year degree. Given that it's been about 1.5 to 2 years since I last broadcast, or recorded, or uploaded, you can probably say that I was about halfway through my degree at that point in time. And I mean, lots of people say lots of things about engineering degrees. Like, oh, the first year is the hardest part. And don't get me wrong, the first year is very difficult because that's where all the maths subjects are. But you need them. And when I say most difficult, I don't agree with that. I think the maths is hard. The maths is definitely hard. But if you try doing the later year subjects without knowing that maths, without having gotten through those maths units, you're fucked. Like, you won't know what they did. Like, just today I had my last exam. I'm cutting ahead a lot here, but just today I had my final exam for that degree. And it wasn't a hard subject. It was very... Hang on, I haven't managed to mute my phone over here, so I don't know if you heard that, but let's just mute my phone. Real professional, subby. Real professional. But yeah, last exam ever, if everything goes well once it's been marked, which I don't think it won't. I don't think it won't go well. That's a warning vocalization. I don't see him. He must be behind that little bit of thing. We're making a lot of fucking noise. You can hear it when we're walking around the place. There is a... That's a whistle. There is a crouch button. I know there's prone. Z is prone, and you just solid snake your way around the place. You know what? We're going to check it out because I am, like, sitting here going, what the fuck is the... Left control? Okay. Sweet, it's toggle as well. Alright, cool stuff. Yeah, so the exam I did today, now the exam didn't cover this because our unit coordinator is a very nice man. But that unit had like partial derivatives in it. Now, 4 years ago, if you'd sat me down and asked me to do a partial derivative, I would have asked you what the fuck a derivative was. Jeez, alright. Yeah, see, that's a... Oh no, that's a mating call. They haven't heard us. They would. Red foxes. Very fast, very perceptive, and very agile. Like, if we were actually playing seriously and went over there to try and take him, or her, I think it was a female, odds are we wouldn't make it. Like, those things are vicious little fucks. I mean, we'd survive. So would it. That's the problem. Yeah, anyway. I mean, I kind of had a vague not even an understanding, actually. A vague knowledge of the fact that derivatives were a thing. But, I mean, I've done economics. I should. Basic calculus was a part of that. That's a weird light effect we're getting off the road there. See it? I don't think it's anything. I think it's like... If we look over here, it kind of goes away a little bit. Yeah, I got no idea. We are walking directly into the sun, so it's not the most amazing of things. Anyway, let's keep on going. So yeah, you need that maps knowledge to be able to do the later units. And that unit that oh, apparently I completed an objective. Okay. Don't know what that was about. But anyway, that was like a third year unit that I did because my schedule was all kinds of fucked. But what I'm getting at is the later units are hard. You just have the base of the earlier units to lift on from there. Maybe one way of putting it is it's like climbing up a 2 meter, like say you've got a 2 meter high wall. Climbing up that is doable if you're tall enough. I mean, within limits. I'm not sure I could do it now because I'm not exactly in shape. I haven't... We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I'm not sure that I could climb a 2 meter wall by myself at the moment. But say one of the later units is a 2 meter high wall. Yeah, you could probably do it. But just in front of it, there's a 1.5 meter high wall. That's easier to get up. I think I could get up a 1.5 meter high wall. I'm tall enough to be able to, like, reach up and grab that. Like, I mean, I'm 1.9-ish meters tall. So yeah, I could grab a 2 meter wall, but the 1.5, look, it's easier. I could more easily get a leg up. Wink. But if you picture one of the earlier units as like a 1.5 meter wall, once you're on top of that, it's easier to get over the 2 meter wall than it is to get over the 2 meter wall first. So with that awkward metaphor or analogy out of the way, just run over here a little bit. Let's have a look. I hope this is recording properly, by the way, because if it's not, there's some water down there. Nice. If it isn't recording properly, well, this will be a huge length of time that I've just wasted. Oh, was that something? No, shadow. Shadow on the ground. There is one thing I hope we don't find, and that's moose. Not moose. Moose don't happen in this park. There's a kind of deer or something which, let's see, Central Europe regions? No, nothing about there. Maybe in hunting log? No, that's the history. Wildlife. Okay, that's not going to tell us too much. But there's definitely... Oh, jeez, and it's fucking full of stuff too. Wow. Boar will attack me. And I think there's something else around here. Is it the Roosevelt elk? That can't be right. That has to be in America, surely. Yeah, North America. Not roe deer. Roe deer are like small. Nope, North America. Moose are also North America, I know that for sure. Also Siberia, I think. There's definitely something. The Eurasian link? No, that's in Siberia. It's not the bear. Because it's... Oh, actually, that might be around the place. Whatever, there's like 3 animals in this park that will attack you. So hopefully we don't run into any of them. Where was I? Right, so those later units, those later classes, very difficult. But not just in the sense of like figuring out what was going on and stuff like that. There's some animals. We've got some red deer down there. The male of those guys will attack us, absolutely. He's a big one too, 6. Is there only one male of that group? Come on, give me the spot. I know I had him a moment ago. There we go. Yeah, he's worth 135 to 174 trophy points. He's pretty damn good. But he is 300 meters away, which is ridiculous. Also, I don't have a good deer gun on me. I've got a little gun for hunting light stuff, and I've got a fucking cannon to take out anything that really comes at me. Anyway, we're not hunting anyway. Yeah, those later units, the time that you would have to spend on them considerably increased over the earlier ones. Take one of the units, engineering for... What was it? Maths for Engineers 1. Probably the more difficult in terms of sudden jumps of the maths units. There are 3 maths units, though I only had to do 2 because I pre-qualified to skip over the preliminary one. Which I'm glad I managed to do that. It was necessary at some point. But, Maths for Engineers 1. You had a mid-semester test, you had a final test, and you had homework every week. And like a quiz, an online quiz every week. But that was it. And yeah, you could, of course, you could study way more than that, but the requirement was much less. Now, contrast that with the writing the fucking honours thesis. No classes for the honours thesis, barely any assessments. But it took a lot of time. And time that, like, yeah, this is only, like, I think my previous schedule was Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to upload to YouTube, and only like half an hour to an hour each. Yeah, that's a warning call from that red fox. How are we doing anyway? We're almost at the crossroads. And that wasn't too bad, to be honest. But then the harder units came in, and I found that I didn't want to record, I didn't want to talk. Yeah, I'd still play games, but a lot of the time I just find myself watching YouTube. Like listening to music videos, which we'll get to as well. That sort of stuff. Doing the work while I listen to those. And while I was in that relationship that I mentioned, because it was long distance, as I mentioned, my partner lived in California. And while she came over here to Australia and I went over there, most of our time together was on FaceTime. And it took a lot of time out of the day. Like, sometimes it'd be like 8 hours. Like, just FaceTiming. It's not FaceTime though, is it? FaceTime's like an Apple thing. The Facebook Messenger video call is what I'm talking about. And it just took... Hello, that's a problem. That's a European bison. Male. Shit. He's directly on our fucking road. Right there. We need to get past them. Okay. Look, it's a precaution. I got 6 rounds in the clip. It should stop anything. Oh jeez, he's the one who we've basically been following all this time. We're just gonna walk past him nice and slow. And if he comes at me, well, he came right for us, guys. Notably, you can turn the little lights on and off. That's pretty cool. I like them on because that's a little bit easier to see what's going on. Don't come at me, bro. Is he moving away? Looks like he's moving away. That's not what I want. I want the binoculars. There we go. Shit. Keep moving. Yeah, good. He's fleeing. Those things hit like a fucking truck. There might have been 2 of them. Occasionally the male bison, or it was a European bison, wasn't it? I've already forgotten. Normally they travel in either packs with a single male, or there's like 2 males. It's still the same one, isn't it? Fuck it, it doesn't matter as long as he's run away, and he's running away that way, which he should stop before we get to cross his path again. Right, so... where were we? Yeah, so I was essentially losing like 8 hours a day, and that was 8 hours, not like at night, because of the time difference. We'd get in touch like shortly after I woke up, to be honest. At like, depending on the day, 10 or 11 o'clock. Uni life, great life. And then we'd talk for 8 hours, like, and that would take me well into the evening. And at that point, it's like, you don't want to do any work. So that's that. And that got me frustrated, which didn't help things with that particular relationship, so on and so forth. And, you know, one thing leads to another, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so basically, that lasted for a year, that relationship, by the way. A little bit over a year, I think. Yeah, a few months over a year. And then, no, just couldn't do it anymore. So, no doubt, each, like, you know, 2 sides to the story, that sort of thing, but, and I'm not going to go into it because of that, because there are obviously 2 sides to any story, and I don't want to give a portrayal of this person that isn't accurate and is biased by my feelings on the matter. So I'm just going to try and be as objective as I possibly can on it, not colour it in any way. It's nice. nice. This autumnal sort of area. Neat. Right, so after that, I basically knuckled down and did uni work. And yeah, I mean, in the sort of romantic aspect of things, yeah, I hopped back on all the dating apps and, you know, started swiping again and all that sort of thing. But, you know, look, most of you, I'm pretty sure most of my viewership is male. All 5 of you. But, and look, the experience on dating apps between the genders or in between is, because obviously there are not just 2 genders, there's a mix. It's not a great experience either way. But, like, I'm not the kind of guy who goes out, like, to a bar or something. That's not... Like, fuck, I wouldn't even know where to start. Most of my friends from high school and that sort of thing, they wouldn't know where to start, so we just didn't. Where the fuck am I? Okay, we might cut across that field or go around it. We'll see, we'll see. I'm not even timing this episode, by the way, so I have no idea how long it's going to be, other than sort of a vague guess at the clock. I think I started roughly half an hour ago, maybe 40 minutes. Couldn't tell ya. Maximum we'll go is 2 hours, because I should be able to get everything out by then, if I don't keep on getting distracted. So maybe 3 hours. Well, you guys will know, it's down there in the bottom. Might pick up pace a little bit because of that. Anyway, saying a lot. Bad sign. Sign that I haven't storyboarded this out, isn't it? So, yeah, swiping didn't do anything. You know how it is, guys. You swipe, you don't get anything back. Or if you do, it's a bot. Real fun bots on Tinder, tell you that. Though it wasn't just on Tinder, I was also on OkCupid, which was honestly probably one of the better ones, I guess. You just find that you tap out real quick with the better ones. What else was I on? Bumble? I think Bumble was a really good idea, because on that one it's like, okay, so normally people expect the man to make the first move, and normally they fuck it up, because, I mean, look, I think I could say this, I'm a man. Men are fucking stupid when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Nothing on the road ahead, that's good. Bumble has a thing where after you match, the woman needs to make the first, like, dialogue. Kind of cool. You know, it's a different take on things, and really that's all you can expect out of dating apps, is a different take. And I was also on Hinge, I think it was. Hinge is pretty alright. I got good things to say about Hinge in a moment, but, you know, we'll get to that. Yeah, so just plugging along at uni, doing my thing. I started my thesis about a year ago, my honours thesis. Really cool subject. I was, I mean, oh, there's some animals down there. What do we got? A fallow deer. He's alert, so he might have noticed me. Going across the farmland, kind of cool. I think that's a boar. No, that's another fallow deer. Cool. Yeah, I'm not going to recite the entire, like, topic, because honestly I can't remember it. It's really long and complicated. But it was something like human object detection using a visual camera from a flying robot. Or to put it in sort of layman's terms, I guess, you got a drone, it's flying along taking pictures or video or something with a normal visual camera, not an infrared, and we want it to find people. So I had a lot of, like, sort of scope to go with on that. Excuse me. And I took it into a sort of a search and rescue field. where someone got lost in the wilderness or something, and out here in Australia, when someone gets lost in the wilderness, you kind of got to find them pretty quick. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of you know the folk tales about the Australian wilderness. We don't have bears or anything, and honestly, I'd rather be lost in Australia than in America. Though I feel like in America you could like find civilization at the drop of a hat if you really had to. Except in some locations, I'm obviously exaggerating. But in Australia, you get lost in the wilderness, you could be... Like, if you go the wrong direction, you're just straight up fucked. Like, no bones about it, man. Just... You could be dead. That's why when someone gets lost, there's a search effort, like a big search effort to go and find them. Recently, down in Victoria, an autistic kid got lost, and it was a massive search to find him, and they found him after a few days in like freezing conditions, which is amazing, and he's a very lucky boy. But getting sidetracked again. I'm not even sure where I was, to be honest. Oh yeah, the search and rescue stuff. So, currently, search and rescue is, you've got land-based search teams. It's like state emergency service, police, sniffer dogs, that sort of thing. And they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But they're on the ground. We're going to go left here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, kind of done with farmland, so let's head up left and try and get into some more wilderness. Yeah, so that's all well and good. And they'll use helicopters as well. Like, they'll put spotters in a helicopter and fly around, but that's limited. Helicopters are really expensive, like, to fly around in. A lot of fuel consumption, all that sort of thing. So my thesis sort of rotated around the prospect of using small drones. Send up 10 of them. Have them run over the landscape, take videos, find out if there are humans in them. And success. Like, I didn't have anything to do with the actual drone piloting, but I made like a program, or an algorithm I guess you'd call it instead, that would get the video and find people in it to a pretty reasonable rate of accuracy, actually. So, very happy with that. And it used AI and all sorts of shit, so very happy with it. But that took a lot of time. And that's what I'm getting at here. And when I was done with it, I didn't want to sit down and talk. I wanted to just veg out, essentially. Like, just play a game. Which, let's be honest, that's what most of my YouTube videos are. But also you just don't want to go through the effort with OBS or OBS and fucking around with YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, once you stop doing this, it's really easy to stay stopped. Like, to not keep going and like get back on the bandwagon. That's why I decided that, like, once my final exam was up, after a little bit of feedback from you guys, of course, comments on that last Crusader Kings vid, and I wanted to get going again because, let's be honest, I miss doing this. Like, I really enjoy doing this. And yeah, it's effort. Of course it's effort. But I enjoy it. And I know I have, like, when I checked this morning, 35 subscribers. And I'm pretty sure I know most of you in, like... Actually, I might not know most of you in real life, but I know a number of you in real life or from other sources and things like that. Those of you who I don't, honestly, I don't know how you found me, but thank you. Honestly, like, I don't do this for money or for, like, I don't monetize any of these videos, so if you guys see ads on these videos, that's not me. That's YouTube. Wangler. Wangler's barn over there, we're not going to stop in. But yeah, I don't monetize the videos, I don't have a Patreon. If you subscribe, then that's awesome. If you like the video, hey, that's cool. And whatever else you do, thanks. Like, I really appreciate it. But even without subscribers or something, I'd still want to do this because I have fun doing this. And I think that's really like what it's kind of about. And life over the last like year or so, year and a half, I mean, it's been fun. There have been fun things. But it's been tough. Like, it's been busy. So, let's skip ahead in time a little bit from, let's see, when did I end that relationship? This is going to sound really bad, but I ended it on April the 1st of, I think it was 2019? Yeah, April the 1st, 2019. That would make sense as to where I was in terms of, like when I remember it back, how it happened, where I was in particular rooms and stuff, working on particular things. Not the best day to break up with someone, but look, when it has to happen, it has to happen. Anyway, so after that, knuckled down to work, but we're going to skip forward a lot now to around about the start of this year, the start of 2020. Now, uni was going all right. Let's be honest. I've always been doing very well at university with this engineering degree. I've got, it's not a high distinction average, but it's very close to a high distinction average. Like, I don't know if GPA works the same in America as it does in Australia or anything like that, but mine's up at around 6.7 or something like that, with 7 being the highest, like possible, and that's if you like slam every subject. So, and 6 is a distinction average, 7 is a high distinction average. So I'm closer to a high distinction average than I am to a distinction average. And I don't say this to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so fucking awesome, even though I am. I try to be humble about it. I don't like bragging about how smart I am or anything like that, because I know that that's, like, it's something to be happy about, but I don't think it makes me better than anyone. So, like, there are people who aren't as smart as me, which isn't an insult, but I think that they're better people than me, and things like that. So, start of this year, roughly. Like, I've been getting matches and shit on various dating apps, but not going anywhere with them. I did have one which, on Bumble, which, that was really interesting. Like, it was weird. Again, not naming any names, and that the reason for that will become very obvious very soon. But basically, I don't know exactly how to put this. This one girl that I matched with over Bumble, like properly matched with and met up with and all that sort of stuff. God, how do I put this without sounding like a prick? I didn't know it at the time, alright? I didn't know it, but she was using me to cheat on her boyfriend. But she felt super guilty about it, so we never really did anything. And I'm just gonna say that that was the weirdest, like, that was a really weird experience. Where am I? Have I missed? Oh no, I did take the turn off. We headed up to Schonfeld. Just straight line, subby, straight line. Yeah, so that was really weird. Like, at first I thought that she was just being, like, cautious because, like, she still lived at home and had overbearing parents sort of thing. I thought that was the thing, but the third time it happened, I was like, okay, what's up? Is it me? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, talk to me about this. Like, what's going on? She was like, no, I have a boyfriend. And I'm like, oh, all right. So yeah, super weird, but I think I handled it pretty maturely. Um, I mean, I'm not really a super emotional person, I think, when it comes to it. Or at least I don't... You know what? I do... I think I do have emotions. Like, what do I mean? I think I know I have emotions, and we're gonna get to that. Um, but expressing them, like in outbursts and stuff like that, I don't really do that. Like, that's a pretty rare thing. And again, that's a criticism that my ex has, or had. But what I'm getting at there is that, like, I was able to be like, okay, this is the situation. And instead of, like, getting angry or, like, weird about it, I offered her emotional support. Because she wasn't doing it out of, like, maliciousness or anything like that. She was in a distance relationship. Not quite as distant as my one had been, but, like, I think her boyfriend lived, like, northern Sydney or something like that, which I've been in, like, obviously California is a longer distance away from that, but my previous relationship before then was from Sydney to the Central Coast. The Central Coast is 3 hours away from Sydney, from where I am anyway in Sydney. North of Sydney is like an hour, hour and a half tops. One way, of course. But it's enough that you can't, like, be together all the time. And she explained it to me that she had needs. And I'm like, okay, obviously. But she felt super guilt. I think she was also religious. So that probably didn't help with the whole super guilty thing about, like, having those particular needs and trying to fulfill them, but not being able to do it with the boyfriend who she clearly loved. And I'm not going to try and, like, psychoanalyze it or anything, but I just listened and tried to give her some advice. There's a mating call down here, probably below this rise. Yeah, just tried to give her some advice, and I really hope that I helped her. Yeah, it's the warning call, and I think I heard it. Yep. Stay back. Stay back. Jesus Christ, that was loud. I thought it was coming at me there for a second. I was about to switch to the revolver. See how fast they bolt, though? Like, if I had startled that one, I probably still wouldn't have been able to land the shot on it, even running away like that. Anyway. Yeah, so I gave her advice, and I really, really hope that it helped her out, because I think that she's a decent human being, and I know that that sort of a situation sucks. But then after that, Hinge worked out for me. That dating app worked out for me. And I managed to go on a couple of dates. I think it was 3 dates so far with this girl that I met on that. And then the fucking coronavirus happened. And I'm sure that most of my Australian friends will know how that was. But for my overseas viewers, it wasn't great. Like, I'm sure it was worse in your country. Australia actually had it really... There's a fox. Australia had it really lucky. Due to our government actually fucking manning up for once and doing what was necessary and shutting down the borders and that sort of thing. It's raining right now, so that's not wonderful for the visuals. It's probably jerking all over the place. But at least the audio should be coming through clearly, because that doesn't really have anything to do with this. Yeah, so our government actually shut down shut down travel, all that sort of thing. The worst thing that happened was one of those Carnival cruise liners, the Ruby Princess, was allowed to dock. They lied. They absolutely lied about whether they had coronavirus on board. And they were allowed to dock and disembark and send people all over the country. And turns out, it was basically a plague ship. But since that started, we've been really lucky. Like, I don't know what the peak was or anything like that, but of late we've been doing like tens of thousands of tests, and states are recording like single-digit newly infected cases, which is amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. And I'm actually like really happy about that, because I happen to be in a high-risk group. Not because I've been traveling overseas or anything. The last trip was to California, and that was 2019 New Year's. But I'm diabetic. I have type 1 juvenile diabetes. And that puts me in a high-risk group for complications. Excuse me. Should I get, this disease, this virus. And add it to the point, I think I heard a pig. Just birds. Add to the point of that both my parents, who I live with at the moment, struggling uni student, they're both in the high risk category for being over like a certain age. So it could have been really bad here, and I'm very glad that it was not. But it was still a lockdown. Still not really safe to go out and go on dates. Not that many places were open. So, I'm really hoping that now that it's all ending and reopening over here, I'm still a little bit cautious about things, because, well, if I'm going to be real honest, while I praise the government for its, the various governments, state and federal, for their response in the, initial stages of the whole coronavirus pandemic, their response in terms of opening things up has been, I would call it problematic. And mainly problematic in that they give the impression that all of their, oh yeah, we're going to open this, we're going to do this, we're going to ease restrictions and all that sort of stuff, always seems to happen right after they've met with the business councils. Or had a telephone call with Rupert Murdoch or something like that. And I don't think I'm going to be stepping on any feet apart from Rupert Murdoch when I say fuck Rupert Murdoch. That guy. First of all, he might as well be American at this point. And we are so sorry that we gave him to you, but please keep him. Yeah, and it just seems maybe we should be a little bit more careful. I mean, I know the economics of the situation. I'm a fucking economist as well before I'm an engineer. Well, I know that it's hard on people and all that sort of stuff. My brother actually got put out of work. And not because he got fired or anything. He's a... what do I call it? I mean, he runs his own business. He's a sound technician, and he does a lot of work on, festivals. And, band tours and things like that. And those aren't happening. So he's got to rely heavily on corporate jobs where they pay him to set up a sound system for big corporate meetings. But again, those aren't happening. They're all being done over Zoom, or it's mainly Zoom. Yeah, all over the internet. Well, we might get to the bridge before we're done, but I don't think we're going to get terribly further. because we're getting close. I'm definitely going to shut this down at 9 o'clock. And it's currently 7:45 at night, so, you know, this is my evening. So you got 45 minutes more of me at most. If you've stuck around this long, thank you. I'm getting to the heavy stuff. Yeah, so coronavirus happened, and its biggest effect on me was that university started being online, and the relationship with this girl basically got put on kind of pause. Like, we're still in touch over like WhatsApp and stuff like that, but you know, with us both being busy because she's doing a PhD thesis and I'm doing my honours stuff, you know, there's a level of appreciation there where we know that we're both busy people. But, you know, still talk and all that sort of stuff. Not the same as going out, though. Anyway, that brings me, like, the whole lockdown situation basically blurs together, to be honest. Like, I didn't have too much trouble with it because, apart from a few times, I basically stay inside anyway. That being said, I am really hankering to get out and like do something outside. I was going to go for a walk today, but it's winter. And winter did what winter does, and it got shit. Like, the weather just turned terrible. Maybe tomorrow, I don't know. I have to just play it by ear. Maybe it'll be nice and sunny like this. The hell is that? Wow, it looked like kind of a sign from where I was, but it's actually the side of a house. We're just coming at it from a really weird angle. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't have much trouble staying inside, certainly not to the level where I was going to go and storm my state representative's office, you dumb right-wing fucks. Apologies to any right-wing fucks who happen to be listening, but jeez, guys. Be sensible. Yeah, that is a slope. Is that actually moving? Ah, it is. Neat. That's cool. Well, there's a hunting hide over there. Let's just scroll that back a bit. Very nice. Yeah, so let's not attack people too much there, though I do think that what you did was stupid. If you went and did that. But that brings me around to the, like, sort of heavy stuff. See, my semester is over. As I mentioned, I had my final exam today. I only had 2 exams this semester. One was today and one was on Monday, so 2 days ago. So today is Wednesday, by the way, you know. Way more worried about the one on Monday than I was about the one today, but that's getting off topic. On Sunday, I basically had an emotional breakdown. Like, I didn't think that I was stressed. And like, this is the thing. It's very difficult to know that you're stressed, I find. Like, for me. When I was in that relationship that didn't work out, I knew I was stressed by the end of it, but only because I started getting white hairs. Like, never had white hairs before, and some of them are probably, I've got a scar on my head from an injury when I was way younger. Some of them are probably from that, but not all of them. And I didn't think that that sort of thing would affect me. Like, that getting white hairs would make me, it would be anything, but it did. And, like, they're not many. Like, it's only a few in there, and you can barely tell because I've generally got good hair. But, yeah, I kind of, I had to take a step back and went, whoa. What is this? Where is this coming from? What the fuck? But, getting off topic again, I didn't get white hairs from the stress. This that I'm talking about. A little bit of water down there, I think. Yep. Are we near that bridge yet? Getting there. Getting there. Yeah, so I didn't realize how stressed I was about exams and stuff. Not just exams, but them being the last exams. Until on Sunday. And it was a bit of a weird way that it came about as well. Because I'd finished studying for the exam on Monday, and there was no point doing any more study. So I just wanted to relax. I didn't want to play a game because I didn't feel like it. I was kind of tired, obviously a bit from the stress as well, now that I think about it. And yeah, I just wanted to watch stuff. Now, I made a fairly stupid decision about one of the things that I watched, and it was just because it was in my recommendations. Both of the things where I fucked up were in my recommendations. Kind of. The first one was definitely in there. It was Cody's Some More News episode, the one on police brutality, which, if you've been watching the news, you know what's going on in America with the George Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter protests, which, holy support, man. And that's why this video, it hit me fucking hard, because I'm really removed from that sort of stuff. I'm white as hell, to be honest, and I don't really have many interactions with the police, and any that I do are with Australian police, who, while not great in terms of their relationships with the Indigenous population of Australia, they're not bad when it comes to white people, which I guess is kind of the state in America as well, but our police aren't militarized, so there's that. I'm not going to get into it too much. I know it's a contentious issue. Just if you're on the side which says the opposite to Black Lives Matter, you're wrong, and that's it. But let's not get into that too much, because there's not much to say. But anyway, I watched the whole video. It was over an hour long. I will link it in the description. I just got to write myself a note about that. Yep, so I remember to link in the description, because otherwise I will totally forget. But yeah, it was... I don't recommend watching it, to be honest, if you're sensitive to this sort of stuff. Because it's brutal, it's an hour, it's over an hour long, and it's just it's got a lot of footage in it. A lot of footage from the protests in it. And it's not pretty. I kind of forced myself to watch it at a point, because I was I'm so removed from this stuff that I feel like I have a duty to, understand. But I did have to pause it. I had to pause it. At one point, Cody mentions that he's about to play several minutes of footage, and at the end of that several minutes, I had to pause it and go and wash my face, because I was crying. And I don't know if I would have had that emotional reaction to it if I hadn't been stressed, but that's neither here nor there. I was stressed, and then I had that reaction to it. And, yeah, that made me feel bad and all that sort of thing. You don't cry unless you feel bad like that. Am I lagging here? I feel like I'm lagging, so the quality could be significantly downgraded here. Anyway, so that was the first mistake. The second mistake came later, and I finally got to this point. I finally got to this point in the video.
I saw some tracks in that area earlier this morning. Hold on, I'll send the coordinates.
I don't care. I'm not hunting. So, I need to give a bit of background here. When the lockdown started, when the coronavirus lockdown started, I was perusing YouTube, and I thought, and like I was just watching videos, mainly music videos. I mainly use YouTube for listening to music these days. And I was just letting mixes play and that sort of stuff. And then I thought to myself, you know what? You know what I really enjoyed watching when it first came out? Gangnam Style. And I know this seems like a bit of a fucking non sequitur here, but we'll get to it. It is absolutely on track. So I watched Psy's Gangnam Style. And of course, when you watch that, it's got in the recommendations on the side Psy's other videos. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll watch Gentleman. I'll watch, is it Daddy, I think? I'll watch all these Psy videos. And what happens when you watch Psy videos? YouTube looks at that and says, oh, he's enjoying watching Psy videos. I'm going to recommend more of those to him. And it did. So I saw some Psy videos that I hadn't seen before. They were good. So I watched them. And watched them again, because music videos, you're going to replay that stuff. And there's another thing that happens when you do that. Because Psy's videos, at least the more popular ones, the ones that have music videos, his tracks that have music videos and things like that, they also have guests or features on them from other K-pop stars. So I'll try to cut it a little bit short. Oh, welcome to Spreeburg. We've crossed the bridge. If we get time, we're going to sort of come up here and cut across here. So that's going to be what? First left. So the big one from that is, well, yeah, I'll try and trace it through. So in Gangnam Style, that features Hyuna, which I am mispronouncing. I'm going to mispronounce so much shit in the next like half an hour, it's ridiculous. So Hyuna is in Gangnam Style. So YouTube recommends you Hyuna clips. I think in Gentleman, one of the, I don't know the name, but one of the members of Brown Eyed Girls is in that. In Daddy, I swear it's not actually called Daddy, it might be actually. That features CL of 2NE1. So you're going to get CL in your recommendations. Like I got Hyuna and I got CL. I watched those music videos. Amazing. Really, really amazing. And like I hadn't watched a lot of K-pop before other than Psy. So like the production values through the roof. And going to get a little dark in a moment, but we'll get around to it. And from that, Hyuna, you get 4 minutes clips, which was like the girl group she was a part of. So you get 4 minutes clips. CL, you get 2NE1 clips, which, again, amazing. I don't understand Korean. I'm going to put that out there. I don't speak Korean. I don't understand Korean. But you don't really have to. Because the music bops, the vocals go with the music, and if you really want to, a lot of them have translations and stuff like that, and they add another level to it and all that sort of thing. But anyway, you watch enough K-pop groups that have been directly recommended to you like this, and more will show up. So I got AOA, or AOA, Ace of Angels clips. I got Girls' Generation clips. Bestie clips. Sistar clips. Like a whole sort of bevy of female K-pop, because that's what I was watching, so that's what it recommended to me. Only recently has it actually given me Blackpink, who I know they're a more recent thing, so you can't really compare it and that sort of thing, but those production values, off the fucking charts. Like, And now that's where we get into the sort of bad stage of things. I haven't looked into it too much, but I understand that Korea is very late stage capitalism. South Korea, that is. Oh, that's an animal. Male fleeing. Okay, as long as he flees, we're fine. Yeah, it's very late stage capitalism, particularly in regards to entertainment. Like, the people in these groups, and I think it affects the girl groups more than it does, like, the male K-pop stars. They're managed, like, to an almost absurd degree. And it's not that you've, like, I'm sure this happens in America as well. Like, I don't think that NSYNC formed by themselves or the Backstreet Boys formed by themselves or anything like that. That was all, like, Disney or something like that. Same with, like, Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and all that. I mean, Justin Timberlake was part of NSYNC, of course. But, like, there are corporations behind it. Just in Korea, it's a lot more... I'm talking about South Korea, of course. It's a lot more sort of there. And it seems that groups disband not because... like, all the time. And not because their members are like, oh, we want to pursue our solo careers or anything like that. Even though that's what has happened in regards to, like, Hyuna of 4 Minutes or CL of 21. And again, I haven't looked into it that much because of what I'm about to tell you guys about what happened. But like, the corporations make the decision, oh, this group isn't profitable or isn't really getting the same as this other group that we've got in mind to promote, so we'll disband them. And the other reason why a lot of groups seem to disband is that, now this is the sad part, so I'm sorry for bringing this up, people die. People die, and I'm not sure exactly whether it's suicides or, like, medical or whatever, but the fact is that people die. And if you make a mistake of looking at the comments of K-pop groups, particularly female K-pop groups, it's one of the most depressing things that I think I've seen for a very long time. And not, like, the Black Lives Matter video, it's not depressing, it's emotional, it's saddening, and it's, like, I imagine that you could have a different reaction. I think this is our turn here. You could have, no, it's not. That goes to that house down there. We want to keep going on. We don't want to go to the outpost. Like, I imagine you can have a variety of reactions to the to Cody's video, which again, link in the description. You could be enraged by it. You could be frustrated by it. You could be depressed by it. But it's by no means a purely depressing thing. The comments in female K-pop group videos are almost universally begging for them to come back, expressing sadness at the death of a member. There are the occasional rage at the corporation behind them for disbanding them, but overwhelmingly it's people saying how bad they feel that that group is no longer able to make music. While saying how great the music is and how awesome the people in it are, and, like, you know, that sort of thing. And of course there's a bit of fandom rivalry, I guess you'd put it, where fans of particular groups are like, oh, this is way better than this other group and stuff like, you know, standard shit. But overwhelmingly, it's, I miss you, please come back, why did you have to disband, that sort of stuff. And that's depressing. But that's not the mistake I made. Like, yeah, I scrolled down occasionally because I was like, I wonder if there's any... Nope. And I learned not to scroll down. because it's all the same shit. And again, if you have those feelings towards particular groups, I fully understand them, and like I get it. Which is weird because I haven't never felt that way when like a Western artist has stopped making music or changed what they do or something like that. I mean, I'm a massive Linkin Park fan. Like, massive. I was with them since Hybrid Theory and all the way through. And I remember when they changed their sound and, as one of my friends says, became more political, and that's what he didn't like about it. And I didn't mind. At the time I thought it was a little weird and I just sort of ignored it because the music was still good. But now that I've grown older and honestly a little bit more left-wing in my views, I get it. And I love that music and it just keeps on growing on me. And, like, I know Linkin Park say that they'll be back, but Chester died. So, and I know, like, we can still go on and all that sort of stuff, but, and I feel sad that Chester died, but honestly not as choked up as I get when I think about, like, these K-pop groups not being able to do music anymore. And the reason for that is what I'm getting to right now. In my YouTube recommendations, I started to get variety shows appearing. Korean variety shows or reality shows where specifically the Girls' Generation group was like going on shows and like comedy shows and things like that and doing their thing. And not like singing music, though I'm sure that was part of it at some point, but like interacting. And you could see from this, and again, I'm sure that this is like highly managed, but there's chemistry there. I think this is us. Take the left. Yeah. Oh, we might go to Spreeberg Castle. I remember Spreeberg Castle. I haven't been there in a while, so maybe we'll check that out. Is that a sign or a boar? It's a sign. I think they're a boar up in this area. But yeah, there's like chemistry between the members, and they're all having an amazing time and like joking around with each other and ripping on each other really hard. And I think that's how you know that like people are great friends. Particularly girls, when they just rip into each other in the like obviously joking sort of way that, you know, it's really hard to explain. I don't recommend going and looking for it, because I'm about to ruin all of that for you. Unless you don't, like, if you want to go and look for it, I think the channel was lastdance.2 or something like that, Last Dance 2, and they had a lot of like highlight reels. There's the castle up there on the right. A lot of highlight reels of particular members of Girls' Generation being like savage or like stuff like that, and it was great. Like, I started watching those and I was like, man, this is awesome. This is really funny. Like, and it's great to see that like it's not just like a fucking band to them, like that. Yeah, I'm sure they're forced to hang out by the managers, but it doesn't seem like they don't like hanging out. Like, maybe they're acting. Maybe they're acting. But they're doing it in such a convincing way that I can't tell. And yeah, maybe the language barrier is a bit of a thing there, but they're English subtitles, so, you know, I could actually understand what was going on, which is great. But then in one of those clips, like, there are 9 members of Girls' Generation. Well, that's a lot to have in a band or a group. And what happened is you get a favorite, and I did have a favorite just from watching the music videos. I didn't know what her name was. They don't put that in the music videos. But I learned it from the variety shows. I learned most of their names from variety shows, like from those clips, because they're in the title. And I'm going to mispronounce it because I know I do. Like, I know I will. Sooyoung was the girl's name. She's the tall one. And apparently the most savage of the bunch from the look of it. But anyway, I saw some like clips in the like variety show compilations of like solo stuff, like these weird little rapping videos, because K-pop is full of rap. It's really strange that it's there, but it's fun. It's amazing. Um, so I did a search to try and find some for solo stuff. And I'm going to put this video in the description. But I'm going to warn you all that if you want to enjoy the variety shows, if you want to enjoy the music videos for Girls' Generation, I don't recommend watching it. Because it wasn't rap. It was I can't really say proper song, because I think rap is still music, hip-hop is still music. Oh, that's ominous. It starts raining as we enter here. Is there a Dark Souls boss in here or something? But like, it was singing, and it was the saddest motherfucking thing that I have heard for a long, long time. I know I've said extreme stuff for a little bit in regards to like the comments on the YouTube videos and things like that, and it's appropriate that it just started raining, I guess, and the music. Here we are. Lovely field. By field, I mean lake. Beautiful. Real nice. Glad to have this depressing backdrop to this story I'm telling. So yeah, it was just, like, it wasn't just that the song was sad, because, look, I'm going to be honest, I didn't understand a word. It's in Korean. I didn't understand a word, but it sounded sad. But that's not what the saddest part of it was. The video. It was shot like, if you've ever seen, like, Lana Del Rey's videos, how they use that, like, old film filter and, like, that sort of thing, it was kind of shot like that, but it was way better, which is amazing because, like, apparently she's basically solo produced it. And it just features Sooyoung, just existing. It was called Winter's Breath, and I am going to put it in the description, but again, I don't, and I'm going to put the version which is on her actual personal channel, not the corporation's channel, because, I don't know, solidarity and all that. But I watched that video once, and it fucking shattered me. And not because of, like, well, I'm not sure what not because of. What I know is that it was because in watching that video, I remembered how much fun they all seemed, like all the Girls' Generation members seemed to be having in the actual Girls' Generation clips. Jeez, this is loud, isn't it? Like this rain. I hope this isn't blurring out my, you know, important moment or whatever. What if I go into the map? Is it still there? Yup. You know what? We're going to turn it down a little bit. No, that's not going to be music. That's going to be SFX. There we go. Wonderful. God, I hope that didn't obscure most of what I was just talking about. Because I don't want to go over it again, because it's really sad to me. But let's finish it so that I can just be done with it. But yeah, the Sooyoung's video, Winter's Breath, it made me think about how much fun they're all having in, like, the Girls' Generation clips, how much fun they're having in the variety show clips, and that they're no longer a group because they got disbanded. And I'm sure that they stay in touch because, like, they all seem to be really good friends and, like, that sort of thing. And I'm hoping that's not an act. And I don't think it is. Let's just get down to the main road. But yeah, it made me sad in that sort of nostalgic way, and in a weird way too. Like, I haven't been sad for somebody else's nostalgia like that ever. And when I think about it, and the problem is that when I look at the music videos now, I can't help but think of that. I managed to purge all the variety show recommendations from my YouTube recommendations, but I don't want to get rid of the music videos because even when I'm feeling the sadness because of what's happening or what has happened, I think that they're really, really good music videos. If you don't believe me, I'm not going to link any Girls' Generation clips below, but just search them. It's easy to search Girls' Generation. Done. You'll find them. But I don't think there's a single track there that I didn't like. In particular, again, I don't want to link them because I've already got, I should write down that I'm supposed to be linking Winter's Breath. But of note, the Girls' Generation music videos for The Boys and I Got a Boy are some of the most amazing music videos that I've ever seen. Like, I don't know who came up with the idea for them or anything like that, but they're incredible. Anyway, the point that I'm getting to is there is one music video in particular, Dancing Queen, Girls' Generation's Dancing Queen. That one hits me the hardest when I watch it because I think the story, from what I read in the comments, I know I said not to go into the comments, but I did, so that's kind of my bad. But the story is that they initially recorded it and like videoed it for their first album, like for their debut single, but there were copyright issues or something because it was a homage or a homage, I should say, or a almost a cover of someone else's thing, and so they didn't end up using it, and instead they debuted with one called G. That's Gee, which, again, great clip, great song. But for Dancing Queen, they start and they're like 2013 Girls' Generation, and then they rewind back to 2008, do the whole song, and like it's the original video, so they all look different. Because, I mean, they're girls, they're growing up. Like, people look more different between the ages of, I don't know, 20 and 25 than they do between later ages. And then at the end, it goes into the, like what they look like in the I Got a Boy video clip, like as a sort of a, this is coming sort of thing. And it's nostalgic. And it hits really hard, particularly after Winter's Breath. And yeah, so fuck, I've rabbited on about this for like 30 to 40 minutes already. I'm going to wrap this up very soon, guys, but because we're almost up to date. But yeah, I just had not complete, but I had a breakdown on Sunday night. And luckily my exam on Monday was at 6 p.m, so I had the whole day to try and get myself back together. And I did. And I think I did very well at that exam, but, you know, by the by. But the point is that, like, outside of, like, relationship stuff, and, like, deaths of people close to me or in my family, extended family. Um, it wasn't a sadness in terms of like sort of thing. That probably didn't sound right through the microphone, but it wasn't like a wailing sort of I want to bawl my eyes out sadness. It was an emptiness, if you will. That's why I think it was sort of like a depressive sort of breakdown, like an emotional break, because I just felt empty and like sort of a sense of I know emptiness and hollowness is basically the same thing, but I just felt that way whenever I'd see one of those things, and I think I've managed to kind of reverse it a bit. One, getting rid of all the variety shows. Don't get me wrong, those variety shows are amazing and funny and fun and like they're really cool to watch. But if you go further than them and like you think about it further and say, oh, they did all this when they were young, like and in the group and all that, then the group was still around and stuff like that, and now they're not. And that sort of shit apparently hits pretty hard to me, as I've been saying for the past 40 minutes. But what I've done is still watching K-pop. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. Like, again, don't understand much of it, even with the English subs. But whenever a Girls' Generation clip comes on in the randomized mix list on YouTube, I make a point to watch it now. Like to watch it, because I've always got it up on like, I've got a monitor big enough where I put like what I'm doing on the left side and YouTube on the right most of the time, if I don't need the right for something else. But I make a point to watch the Girls' Generation videos, just so that I can remind myself that they had fun. That what's happening in the videos is fun. And nothing should take away from that. Like you can't let, I'm going to get some general advice here, you can't let what has happened since something take away from how much fun that thing was or how good that thing was. Like, I'm going to bring it back to that relationship which I'm no longer in. If I let the end of that relationship define the entire relationship, it would have been a really shitty relationship. And don't get me wrong, I have some friends who will say that's what it was. And they're some of my better friends, like they're some of my best friends. Like I talk to them all the time, I sort of hang out with them when I can, that sort of thing. And they would have said that it was a shitty relationship all the way through, and they're entitled to that opinion. I didn't hold that opinion, but where the fuck are we? We are going right up ahead. Not that we're going to be much longer on this. We've got like 8 minutes before I said I'd cut it off. And I really hope, I should be making that deadline. I hope so, because otherwise this video is going to really take forever to upload and maybe people won't watch it. But honestly, I just needed to talk about a lot of this stuff. And if you're still watching right now, honestly, I thank you. Tearing up a little bit of that, but I thank you from like the proverbial bottom of my heart, because like it means a lot to me. And because of that, I'm not going to try and hunt something down at the end of this clip. Also because I have no idea how long that will take. Hunting in this game is, honestly, it's time consuming. Anyway, let's not waste time. We don't have a lot of it left. But yeah, if I let the end of that relationship define how that entire relationship was for me, that would have been one really shitty year and a couple of months. And I can't in good faith say that it was all shit. I think I said I wasn't going to go into too many details, so I still won't. But the time that she spent over here, that was alright. Like, that was good. I mean, gonna be honest, one of my parents didn't particularly approve because Subby, she didn't call me Subby, my parents call me by my real name, um, which I think I've said before, but I don't want to get in the habit of saying, like, on air. They're like, Subby, you've got to stop getting involved in long-distance relationships. Why can't you settle down to a nice Australian girl? You know, great. Thanks. Thanks. Uh, Also, I get the feeling that my partner at the time didn't much like my parents, which not a great thing when you think about it, not a good sign. I know stereotypically people like supposed to be like, oh, the in-laws, but of my friends who have like gotten married, um, they're usually really friendly with their in-laws, or at least one half of a relationship is friendly with the other's in-laws and that sort of thing. Um, Within reason, of course. Which is how I think it really should be. I mean, when you think about it, that can only make things better in the long run. Because you don't have your in-laws backstabbing you and that sort of thing. Um, Anyway, the point I'm getting to here is I think it was all right when she was here. When she wasn't here, or when I wasn't there, it was pretty rough, and unfortunately that was the majority of things. I really enjoyed my time in California. Apart from one or two little blips, I really enjoyed my time in California. And it wasn't just because I was like there with my partner at the time. It was because California, at least part of it that I was in, just north of Los Angeles, beautiful. Like, it's the second time I've been to America. I also went to Boston once during winter. That was a fucking mistake on more than one account. I don't have time to go into it though. But California? Fuck it. America is a beautiful country. Like, the United States of America is a beautiful country. It's just a shame about the people who live in it. Don't want that to be a blanket statement. You know if that applies to you, sort of thing. And honestly, I don't think anybody watching this has it apply to them. But like, the landscapes are beautiful, the buildings are beautiful. I went to I think it's called Hearst Castle, which is like it was the most decadent shit that I've ever been near. Look it up if I got the name right, Hearst Castle. You know what? I'm gonna link to like something to do with it in the description. Just because I'm not sure if I got the name right, so there will be a third link in the description. Not to a YouTube video, but just to like their homepage or something like that. Pretty sure it's Hearst Castle. Let's not get stuck on that point. Most opulent shit that I've ever been near. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Really speaks to sort of the nature of the upper class in America. But while I saw some beautiful things, I also saw some really like negative things. And it was mainly to do with like I'm sure this happens in Australia, in like Sydney and that sort of thing, but the police moving on homeless. I know this one doesn't exactly happen in Australia, but like people working like in agriculture who I don't want to say that they were illegal immigrants, because how would I know? Like, I didn't vet them or anything like that, but and look, I support people just trying to make their way in life. And I don't want anybody to say, oh, fucking illegal immigrants or anything like that. Like, fuck you if you think that. But just, you know that they're not getting paid a lot. You know it's tough labor. It's probably still better than wherever they came from to begin with. But, like, I mean, hot take, I guess. But the people who should be prosecuted for like illegal immigration aren't the illegal immigrants. It's the businesses that employ them at like slave rates. And I'm gonna like slap the economist degree down on the table and be like, fight me. Um, but like we can get into that. Anyway, I feel like I should wrap this up. So after that emotional breakdown and like kind of recovery to this point, so I had the exam on Monday night. I then had the exam today on Wednesday in the morning, 9:30, and I think I did pretty well at that one too. Got out of that exam, and it's just like I've kind of got that sense of, well, what now? But I feel good. I feel really good. I'm not feeling stressed.
I saw some tracks in that area earlier
Seriously?
this morning. Hold on, I'll send the coordinates.
Great, they're back there. You could have told me like 5 miles ago, or more like 100 meters ago. But yeah, like, I do have that sense of, well, now I've got to wait for results, which are in a few days. Like, what's the date today anyway? Like the 20... No, it's like the 17th. On the 10th of July, I get my results. Australian, apparently. And there's still some other things to do, but whatever. Basically, I should graduate in September if everything goes well. And then I got to find a job, I guess. It should be a lot easier this time, apart from Corona. Let's not get sidetracked, though. I do have that sense of, well, what now? But I think I'm going to use the next few weeks, like, kind of self-productively. And I'm going to, like, now that lockdown's being sort of removed and restrictions are opening up, I'm going to try and go on another date or, so, like, more dates with the girl I've been seeing. Who, honestly, I like this girl. So, you know, hopefully it works out. But yeah, and apart from that, more videos. To note, I'm thinking of going Monday, Wednesday, Thursday again. Sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Not sure how long it'll be. This video is going up with the first episode of the Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus, episode 1. Hopefully I've fixed whatever's going on to the video here, so it, like, whoops. Flung a pen across my desk, hit a key. Hopefully the video is alright, so I don't have to worry too much about quality anymore. I hope I fixed that, because it's really annoying me if it's not. Even if the video quality on this is shit, I'm still putting it up, so I'm not re-recording it. What else? Oh, on that note, if anybody knows how to get the best out of OBS, I've tried looking through their help pages, and it's mainly about streaming. And this is plainly not streaming, this is recording, so throw brother a bone. That's a steep hill. We're over time. But yeah, I plan on doing a lot of like self things. I want to get back into board games. I want to get back into like pen and paper games. I had to give those up for a while, just didn't have time. I want to get into drawing maps and stuff like that. World creation, that sort of thing. And yeah, doing these videos. So that brings me back. So I'm thinking Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Whoa! Okay. How's that for terminating the, I think I lost my internet connection. Okay, well, on that regard, I'm not sure how much of that you could see, or if you could see a black screen or anything like that. I do still have internet, according to my computer. Hopefully this hasn't terminated the recording, but just in case it has, we'll keep it short. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at this moment. Let me know what you think or whatever. Fuck it, let me know whatever you want in the comments. I don't mind. Just talk. But in the meantime, I've been Sub. You've been yourselves. Later.